maybe what we can do is go back to 105 Concord and take care of that.
Okay,
and
we
let
can
these
do
guys
that.
go home.
Okay.
Because I see the neighbors are here now, so, could we just take a couple of minutes and do that? 105 Concord Road. Everybody was shocked and surprised to see that the entire parcel is now for sale. And so we need to try and see what the next steps might be in response to that. The special permit decision explicitly says that lot 1 of the flexible subdivision can't be offered for sale, can't be offered, not sold, can't be offered for sale until certain conditions are met. So the special, it looks as though the special permit, they're in violation of the special permit. So
Do you want to read specifically what it says?
yeah.
This underlying.
Well, it says that. It says, lot 1 will not be offered for sale, either singly or in combination with other lots until certain conditions are met. It has to do with the subdivision roadway and so forth. So it's been offered for sale. And so they are apparently in violation of the special permit. So we need to confer with Joe Bard and see what the options are for that.
I'll talk with him as soon as I can. I have a memo started to him. I had several calls into him.
Yeah.
And I will touch base with him and get back to you before the end of the week.
Yeah. I mean, one of the questions for him is, could we, or do we want to, void the special permit and just...
In anticipation? I mean, it seems to be...
It's already been offered for sale.
Right, and that the special permit actually says it can't even be offered for sale.
Yeah, that's what I just read.
Yeah.
My concern is that they haven't filed yet at the registry. And in order to modify something, it has to be filed at the registry. So that's another question to ask Joel.
Why haven't they filed? That's a question. And because we voted on the special permit back in June.
Right, but then it ended up going through the appeal process, and then they had certain things they had to
That's
do.
3 weeks.
And then it was at the last meeting that the board signed, endorsed the
Mylars.
plans, and they posted the surety.
They
So that
posted
was
that
at
before
the
the
last meeting.
They posted the surety the week before, right?
Right.
Or 2 weeks before.
So,
What is it? Well, if they haven't filed anything, they don't have a
they don't
they
have
don't
a
have a
permit
permit.
yet. Right,
So it's not a matter of voiding anything. They don't have anything.
right. Until they record it.
Right. And so,
And it's a requirement to record it.
So then they're not in violation if they haven't.
but there's no permit either.
Right.
There's
That
no
doesn't
subdivision.
mean they can't offer the whole thing for sale.
But that's
Well,
right, but they don't have a
Interestingly
subdivision
enough,
anymore.
it's offered with 2
permitted.
separate lots.
Right.
It's offered permitted. Have you read the real estate? It's offered permitted with multiple
Yeah.
lots.
So it's like both ways.
So if it's sold, could it get a whole lot worse, and could it get sold and then go back to like 10 lots on that property?
No, because they
They'd
need
have to come back
they
in
need
to
the
this
waiver.
board.
they need the offset waiver.
Right.
They don't have the by right to do that.
They can't do it by right because they don't have that.
Al,
Waiver.
Artemis Mills, if they're in violation with lot 1, are they not also in violation for the other 2 lots?
Yes,
Right, so the whole
the
thing
whole thing.
could be voided if she could sell the property without the ability to subdivide the property.
That's right.
Correct.
And then the danger is that the house has there's no deed restriction on the house. So the house could be torn down and another house built.
Oh,
That's
Beautiful house.
that's the downside. I can't,
But if they're advertising it as already permitted and subdivided, and they haven't filed, and it's not permanent and subdivided, then they're sort of at risk for offering something that does not exist.
Does not exist, exactly.
And, I would think that there'd be some liability there, not being an attorney.
And that's the way they've been advertising it, that this property can be subdivided.
yeah, they've
Into two
advertised
lots.
it permitted,
Right.
right, into 2 lots.
Is there some strategic reason you think that they haven't applied and done that final step?
They haven't filed with the registry, you mean?
That'd be me.
Leslie Bensel, 43 Concord.
It's, speculation. They've been awfully slow about, going through the steps, but again, what they have, they're left with what they spent 2.5 years negotiating out a flexible subdivision.
Right.
Which seems like a waste of effort.
It doesn't exist.
All that
Lots
time
of
and
lawyer,
effort.
Yeah, exactly.
lots of lawyer fees.
We build them for our time.
Double.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a little strange, but, there may be something going on that we don't understand, and so that's why we need to talk to town council and find out if it really is, I don't want to use a disparaging word, but really, it really is unsophisticated as it appears to be. So we will,
Perhaps she's really naive and thought that it would just go through. I don't know.
maybe, Betsy said maybe she didn't read the fine print.
Well,
With
there's
all
a
the
couple of
lawyers-
people that
Yeah, they
need to
had a
read
lawyer
fine
involved,
print.
I'm sure he's still involved.
Yeah, well, exactly, and he was sitting there when we went through all these conditions, because we
Many
had
times.
about 25 drafts of this over months, and
Right.
so it's really puzzling.
Time and effort on the
Betsy?
waste.
Betsy, have you contacted Joel yet? about this?
I've left him messages and I'm in the process of working on a memo to him.
It would be interesting to have him contact their lawyer and see.
Yeah, he knows Mark Bobrowski
Yeah.
quite well. Actually, I know Mark Bobrowski quite well. I could call him and find out what's going on.
I'd rather just talk to Joel.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but somebody could call the real estate broker, the listing broker, and just show interest in the
It's
property.
Priscilla. It's Priscilla Hindmarsh.
Okay, I know her. But she's smart enough, you would think, to apprise herself of the legitimacy of their claims in their description. Permitted, whatever.
They never read the
Yeah, I
special
doubt she read the fine print.
Yeah, I doubt she read the
Yeah.
whole
I think she was just given marching orders and said, "We're all set, let's
Yeah,
go."
let's move.
Yeah, but
Well, they're probably interpreting it as before we separate it out. And, we're saying that it's written that before it gets put up for sale. But their intent there is that before it gets separated out, that it then, that you deal with the conditions. And so they're probably looking at selling the whole thing so that, as permitted, but it's not quite permitted because it's not filed with the registries. Anyway, see what Joel says.
Al,
That's his job.
Artemis Wells again, I suspect she has not had success selling those subdivided lots with all the restrictions. And she's probably desperate and therefore she wanted to put the whole property in the market. I don't know.
But again, you go back to this
Right.
condition,
Right.
which says they can't even offer it for sale. Not sell it, offer it
Maybe
for
she didn't
sale.
read the fine
And
print.
well, they signed it and agreed to it, so.
I mean, that seems so obvious that even I understood that, what you read, or what you said and
Yeah,
you read.
it's,
I mean, they didn't have it for that long to
it's black
put up
and
for
white.
sale as separate lots. I mean, we're not talking a long time.
No,
Yes,
except
so-
that I
yeah,
did
since
see
it
a
was sold.
sign on, the Boston Post Road for some time, lot for sale. You see that? Right in, as you're driving down?
Yeah.
It was there for quite a while.
That wasn't by
That's-
Landmarsh.
No, that's somebody else.
That was a
No,
different.
Oh, I thought that was the lot that she.
I can't imagine what they could do with that little piece of land.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Blast.
oh.
I
What?
thought, yeah,
I thought it was
I
her
thought it
lot.
was her,
I
like
thought it
a
was-
prime
right.
spot.
Oh, are you talking about in the town center?
Yeah.
Right.
next to
Oh, no,
Barber
no,
Shop.
that belongs to the church.
Oh,
Oh, they're trying to sell that off for
Oh.
what, I have no
Yeah, I
idea.
can't imagine, it's not very big.
There's no parking, I mean, it's on a hill that's like this, so it's crazy.
But if this was always their intent, I don't know how they could have agreed to that condition,
Right.
the one that you read.
That's what's mysterious about it,
Yeah.
is this was hammered out many iterations. If it was always your intent to sell the whole thing, just kit and caboodle, why did they ever do that?
Yeah. And
Got me.
So it's got all, so it's a big mystery.
well, no, she always said to me she wanted to keep the main house with about the 10 acres. And then things changed. But that was her original intent, I believe.
She said it from the first to the last.
Right.
First to last, we heard that,
Right,
first to last.
We saw a number of emotional scenes where,
yes.
Yeah.
she loved the house to the point where she, it was,
I never,
an obsession, and she would never leave, and they'd have to drag her out. And 2 days after we signed the Mylar, that's when the
Sale.
ad
And,
came up, so.
when you say things changed, what changed?
her status, I suppose. She said to me she needs the money.
Well, I thought that was the motivator all along. They
from the
haven't
beginning,
lived together
from
for a long
3 years
time.
ago, that was the vote.
Right.
It was obvious, no one said that wasn't.
Which was when she changed the road, the entry road,
Yeah,
the official road to Concord Road from Townhouse Road.
that's right.
What is your name for the record?
Jean Thurston,
What was the last?
Jean Thurston,
Okay.
Thurston.
Well, she put that road in quite a long time ago.
A couple of years ago, 3
Yeah,
years ago.
About 3 years ago, right before they began the process. So,
Anyway, that's what we know. We'll let you know if we learn anything
Thank
new.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
for your time and all that.
Yeah,
Thanks for everything
you
you've
spent a
done.
lot of time on this whole thing.
That's why we're so happy
We
about
did.
this.
Yeah.
Seemed like
Jeez.
time wasted, right?
Yes.
Good night, thank you.
Many hours of our life,
Yeah, really.
Right.
especially their lives, when we got to put hours in.
I have to think something happened where all of a sudden she absolutely had to have the money.
But still, there's that condition.
Yeah.
She can sell it now.
She can sell it now,
Right.
right?
Without
But without the
subdividing
lots.
it, yeah.
Right,
Right.
She won't get 24 million.
Right.
That's the way
She'll
it's,
never get 24
it's
million.
not marketed that way.
right, but it.
I think she'd
It's a
be
mystery.
lucky to recoup the original money that they spent, 8 or 9 million. She spent a lot redoing the house, the swimming pool, that other little building that's in there. And then all these legal bills and planners and everything else. So if she could get 14 or 15 million, she might recoup her money.
Well, but I always thought that was the reason for the subdivision, because then
Yeah.
the extra land was
Right.
where the money is. So if you're gonna avoid the subdivision, then, it just doesn't,
But if she kept her house and 10 acres, then how much more money could she get from those 3 lots? You know?
lot 2, quite a bit. Oh,
Yeah.
lot 3, I mean.
The big lot, right?
The big lot, yeah. That was,
She
That
could
was-
probably get back what they paid
Several
for the house
million.
initially.
That
Oh, yeah.
lot would be
Somebody
several
could buy
million.
that and the piece of land that belongs to the church.
And lot 2,
On the other
and lot 2 as well.
Thank
Short
you,
cut,
thank you,
John
thank you
said.
so much.
Night, night.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Lucky
Thank you.
people going home.
okay, so we've got a couple of minutes. Do we have enough time to,
So some people want to know if the consultant can come.
oh,
Well,
I don't know what's coming up.
yeah, what's coming up? You have to.
129 Cherrybrook, but I can tell you that they put in the landscape.
They put in the landscape?
Yeah.
Oh, they did? Okay.